Let me tell you, I'm really fucking irritated now. Right, so we're playing on the Odin Pro, which... What broke? What didn't break? Capture card started being awkward, audio wasn't coming through, and Streamlabs decides, I want to be a dick.
Facility on Shadow Moses Island in Alaska's Fox Archipelago was attacked and captured by next generation special
Anyway, the
forces.
point, more than anything else. Dock Station. Your 3D polygons on PlayStation look so good. So clean and everything. Your 2D elements look rougher because it's a PlayStation. You're looking between 240p and 480i, and that's being upscaled to 1080p, and they can't just make it sharper. You can see it with the text there and stuff like that, but the 3D objects themselves, when the motion blur dies, looks really good.
Stay alert. It'll be through here. I know it.
And that's the value of Dock Station.
I'm going to swat down a couple of bothersome.
So, and what we're going to do real quick is take a look at a couple of the other things we got on here. Citra. With this, I can finally start doing 3DS stuff. Oh, what's that? Shin Megami Tensei 4? Yes. Is it perfect? No. Is it good enough? Absolutely. Even some Android stuff, like the Android versions of Sonic 1 and 2 that I bought specifically for this, which are really nice. There's AM2R, I can finally get around to doing that. Dreamcast is a strong possibility, because it looks really nice, plays really nice on this. PSP at 5 times resolution, totally doable. So it's all really nice. But what we're actually here for... Omen, Legacy of Kain. That in the bottom left is retro achievements. You guys can't see it properly because I have the emulators that I can have. Yeah, I've not actually done AM2R before. Dabbled a little bit with it, but not done a huge amount. I'm looking forward to doing it, and I probably will do it on stream at some point. Retro achievements, cool thing. Lets you... It's a website you can look into. You can sign into it with various emulators. It's supported on RetroArch, if you want to take a look at that. And it essentially works as achievements or trophies. It's kind of neat. And I've spoken out against achievements and trophies in the past. But when it's not a selling feature, I think it's kind of neat. Bear in mind when I say selling feature, I mean when Sony put PS2 games on PS4, one of the things they used to justify the increased cost was trophy support. Alright, Blood Omen. What's the preview? Is this Pandemonium? Is the preview Pandemonium? I don't remember. Yes, it is. That's an FMV. I've tried it several times and I have never liked it. It's strange because conceptually I should. I love that style of 2.5D, the earlier 2.5D when characters would move along a 2D plane, but the camera would move all around and it would actually look properly 3D, as opposed to modern 2.5D, which is stuff like New Super Mario Brothers or Donkey Kong Country Returns, which is visually less interesting, I think. I did back when I was doing Let's Plays. I did it as a weekend one-off. I played it for like 20 minutes, and it's been a game I've been aware of since I was a kid, and I've never liked it, and I still don't. And it's kind of a shame. But that's that. Let's go.
There is a magical operation of maximum importance. The initiation of a new aeon.
When it becomes necessary to utter a word, the whole planet must be bathed in blood. I love this game. We'll get into some of the history of this with me as we go forward, but there are no subtitles, so I'm going to be quiet.
Call your dogs! They can feast on your corpses! Fulfilling the circle mallet of the Sarafan, you are hereby damned. The pleasures of the flesh are no longer yours. You have but one purpose, damned warrior. You will serve us for eternity.
The late great Tony J there. So a lot happens in this opening, and most of it isn't going to be relevant for a while. You're not going to understand a lot of it for a long time.
The tavern's closing. Best be on your way, stranger. What? No mug of ale for a weary traveller from distant Corhagen? I can reward you well, for I am of noble blood. I stay open for no man in these dark times. Things come with the night that no sane man would welcome. And so I left, cold of heart and soul, forced to the road and the long, bitter night.
That does not like the audio there. Huh. Something's going on there. What's going on with it? You see how well that works?
That's him! Hey, Victor! Hey, Victor!
What's going on with the audio here? Am I really just gonna have to go and do this on something? On one of my other streaming devices? Relation device. Yeah, we're getting serious, which is weird. Oh, this has been a mess. Oh, that's the issue.
End it! Now!
Okay, it's sounding better. Or is it?
They victors, suffering to the conquered. Ironic that now I was the one suffering. Not anything as pedestrian as physical pain, rather the cruel jab of impotent anger. The hunger for revenge. I didn't care if I was in heaven or hell. All I wanted was to kill my assassins. Sometimes you get what you wish for. The necromancer Mortanius offered me a chance for vengeance, and like a fool, I jumped at his offer without considering the cost. Nothing is free, not even revenge.
You will have the blood you hunger for.
Am I gonna have to switch this over to my Super Console X? It should be running this fine. Is this a dock issue?
I awoke to the pain of a new existence, in a dank womb of darkness and decay.
This seems bad now. So yeah, Legacy of Kain, Blood Omen Legacy of Kain. Let me switch. The integer, I don't think. Better. Kain, voiced by Simon Templeman. This game came out in 95, 96, which was a very uncommon point for games to have good voice acting.
The sanctuary spell enables me to travel to my crypt, where the soil of my grave provides me respite. I often resort to this when I am weak and need nourishment. Reputed to have been ripped from the chest of the greatest vampire to have ever existed, Janos Audron, the heart of darkness restores vampiric unlife. Life is precious, Janos discovered, as it was torn, throbbing and bleeding from his own body.
So, Simon Templeman, classical actor.
This ancient vial bears with it a dark gift indeed, for with it my life force is increased.
It's worth noting here, because you guys can see the end of that. The retro achievements are done by essentially just users. So you can see misspellings in some of them.
These ancient symbols of power
just keep saying
contain
massively.
raw magical energy that increases my own capacity to summon energy for the spawning of spells.
Alright, you know what, I think I'm going to switch to my Super Console X, because this is just giving us a bit of issue. Throw this save here, just in case I continue this on my own time. Yeah, pretty much. I'm getting sound issues for some reason on a very simple PlayStation game, an early PlayStation game, that shouldn't be giving me any issues on a system with this kind of power. Alright, so I guess we're gonna do it. Be right back. Alright, so that's working. So with this though, I'm going to be using the controller that came on PlayStation Classic, so we at least have the feel in our hands, and by our I mean my, of this like I'm playing this back in like 96, 97 maybe. I don't remember when I first played this, because I played this at the time and I still have the physical disc of this. There you are. PCSX rearmed. Oh, it's this old RetroArch interface. You know what? No, we're using save points anyway, so it doesn't matter. Anyway.
There is a magical operation.
You know, going from that to this, I can immediately see how much less clear this is.
The tavern's closing. Best be on your way, stranger.
But like we've streamed
A mug
from the
of
Super
ale for a
Console
weary
Electric 4
traveller
without
from
any
distant
issues.
Corehagen.
It's
I
a
can
reliable
reward you
little
well,
machine.
for I am of noble blood. I stay open for no man
Man,
in
these dark times. Things come with the night that no straying man would welcome.
And
So I left, cold of heart and soul, forced to the road and the long, bitter night. Anyway.
That's him! Hey, Victor! Hey, Victor! Hey, Victor! Hey, Victor!
There's 3 assassins dead.
End it!
Yeah.
Now!
I managed to kill 3 of them before I died. Alright, so let's properly enjoy this cutscene. I really like this. It's one of my favourite lines, dialogue in the favourite monologues in the entire series. This is a series with a lot of monologues.
They, victors, suffering to the conquered. Ironic that now I was the one suffering. Not anything as pedestrian as physical pain, rather the cruel jab of impotent anger. The hunger for revenge. I didn't care if I was in heaven or hell. All I wanted was to kill my assassins. Sometimes you get confused. The necromancer Mortanius offered me a chance for vengeance, and like a fool, I jumped at his offer without considering the cost. Nothing is free, not even revenge.
You will have the blood you hunger for.
So early 3D FMVs aside, like, this is a good looking game.
I awoke to the pain of a new existence, in a dank womb of darkness and decay. The sanctuary spell enables me to travel to my crypt, where the soil of my grave provides me respite. I often resort to this when I am weak and need nourishment.
Anyway.
Reputed to have been ripped from the chest of the greatest vampire to have ever existed, Janos Audron, the Heart of Darkness restores vampiric unlife. Life is precious, Janos discovered, as it was torn, throbbing and bleeding from his own body. This ancient vial bears with it a dark gift indeed, for with it my life force is increased. These ancient symbols of power contain raw magical energy that increases my own capacity to summon energy for the spawning of spells. Within the walls of these chambers I could find respite, and if I so chose, resume my journey when my weariness abated.
So, I first played this game when I was like 5. I came from the Super Nintendo to this. And like, it's not a technical masterpiece or marvel. Even at the time, it wasn't. Like, that opening sequence with all that blood, you didn't get that on Super Nintendo. The quality of the dialogue, never seen anything like that before. I love the language in this game, in this series.
The world had changed to my eyes. I had not expected such cruelty from the light. For in the embrace of the sun I could find no comfort, only malice. This would change in time for the worse, along with other things.
And the soundtrack is phenomenal. There is a PC version. Until last year, it wasn't available on modern systems. You could buy the entire series, except for this game, on PC. Until last year, when it was finally re-released on GOG, the only way to pick this game up digitally on a modern platform was via PSN on PS3, PSP, or Vita. But it is on GOG now. As far as I'm aware, though, it was designed for PlayStation and then put on PC afterwards. Yeah, this is a top-down action RPG. Thank you. I think, like, over the years, it's been said that this is like the worst aged game in the series. And it's really not. I've definitely reevaluated that opinion in the last couple of years. I think gameplay-wise, it's probably the one that's aged the
These
best.
curious devices hurl bolts of whirling energy and eviscerate my human enemies by stripping ragged flesh from blood-stained bone.
And there we go. Seriously, this music is phenomenal. So much of the design of this game is fantastic. Developed by Silicon Knights and published by Crystal Dynamics. Silicon Knights went on to develop Eternal Darkness. I think the next project after this, they were working on a sequel, but there were legal issues between them and Crystal Dynamics. There were legal issues. Crystal Dynamics had the ownership of this, and Silicon Knights were not happy about that. There's a whole history behind it that's worth looking into. Crystal Dynamics working on their own sequel to this game. The courts ruled in favour of Crystal Dynamics. The caveat was that at the start of Soul Reaver, there's a disclaimer saying this game's developed by Silicon Knights. Soul Reaver was developed by Crystal Dynamics. The Soul Reaver wasn't even originally intended to be a Legacy of Kain game. It was an unrelated project called Shifter that was transformed into a Legacy of Kain game. Silicon Knights,
When
I think the
rainfall
next
comes,
thing...
vampires are wise to find shelter from its acidic touch.
Hunger and weakness are no bar to vengeance's call. I would find my slayers and send them back whence I came.
Yeah, so... I think the next thing Silicon Knights tried to do after that got shut down was, Too Human.
If we took it out once, we could do it again.
What trickery is this?
Their sneering faces were forever etched upon my memory. I had crossed death for this moment. My mind was empty save for one thought. I would kill.
There is no greater release than that from vengeance sated. With my assassins dead, my quest was over.
Yeah, so like we were murdered, and we come back as a vampire to kill the people who killed us, and then literally right outside our mausoleum. Well, you'd think that'd be the span of the
Tis
story.
not over, Kain.
No.
These fools were merely the instruments of your murder, not the cause. Look to their masters, look to the pillars, and gain way to the fortress of the mind.
Yeah. Too Human. A game Silicon Knights was working on for a while. They kept putting it off, working on other stuff they were
This
contracted
was
for.
where the bloody deed of my murder took place.
And he lived happily ever after. Yeah, they ended up doing Eternal Darkness. They were contracted to develop Twin Snakes, and they rode that like for a long time. Like, Two Human was originally going to be a PlayStation game, then it was going to be a GameCube game, and then it was an Xbox 360 game when it finally came out. And it was supposed to be the first part in an epic trilogy. And it was just kind of shit. And then there was X-Men Destiny, which... boy. That's a mess. I'll eventually probably get around to that, because I do own that physically. Although, like, it's worth noting the main thing to begin with, in terms of, like, oh, you want to know about how messed up X-Men Destiny is? Silicon Knights were ordered by the courts to retrieve all unsold copies and destroy them.
The necromancer had offered me no warning as to what my resurrection would entail, and yet I must confess in my haste I had not sought one. Was his gift a curse? I would seek the pillars for an answer.
Yeah, and then, like, the aftermath of that, Silicon Knights ended up shutting down. Like, the story of the rise and fall of Silicon Knights is fascinating. And Kotaku did do a pretty good article on it a few years back. Back before Kotaku became just what it is. Back when I still followed Kotaku. Because, like, we can all joke about Kotaku and what a mess it is, but there was a point where they were doing, like, decent news stuff. Decent video game articles. And one of those was, like, the look at Silicon Knights and the mess that was both Two Human and X-Men Destiny.
The pillars of Nosgoth. Even in life, few sights have moved me such as this. I marvel that such beauty should grace our dying world.
So yeah, the voice acting is fantastic, but if you listen closely, it's pretty obvious they only had like maybe 4 or 5 voice actors. Like the assassins, when they were talking as we approached them, it was clearly Tony J and Simon Templeman doing different voices. Which comes off as like not great, because they're both fantastic voice actors, and just actors in general.
As daylight chases darkness, the vampire's power wanes.
Not just fantastic actors in general. But if they're putting on voices, it kind of suffers.
Nopraptor, your madness has shattered our dreams and blinded you.
Keep your distance, or I'll send you back to hell, spirit!
There is nothing left of me to fear, vampire. I'm only a shadow of my former self, Ariel, the balance of the Circle of Nine. Even so, I can provide the answers you seek.
I seek only a cure.
There is no cure for death, only release. You must destroy the sorcery that is now poisoning Nosgoth. Only then will you realize peace. The 9 of the Protectors of Hope were sworn to use their powers to preserve our world. Now these pillars have been corrupted by a traitor. My murder at the hands of this beast drove my love Napraptor mad. Now he spreads misery and pain among the Circle, crumbling the very foundation of Nosgoth. You must restore balance. You must right the pillars of Nosgoth.
I care not for the fate of this world.
Then for yourself, Kain. Beware the unspoken.
Napraptor, with his blind act of vengeance, threatened to destroy all of Nosgoth. Each Circle member was bonded to the pillar he served. The pillars reflected the mental state of their servants, and as the minds of the Circle degenerated and descended farther into dementia, the pillars crumbled. To restore them, each member of the Circle had to die, and the artifact that served as their link to the pillar had to be returned. Only when all the pillars were restored did Ariel claim my curse would end. And so, my hunt for Napraptor began.
No, the way it worked, one of the 9 killed Ariel, a traitor within the midst. Her lover, Napraptor, was the guardian of the Pillar of the Mind. He found her body, and knowing it was a traitor but not knowing who it was, sent out a psychic shockwave that drove all of the Guardians mad. And now they're all insane. The only necromancer is Mortanius, who is guardian of the Pillar of Death. Ariel was the balance guardian of the Pillar of Balance. You know, let's go back. Let's go back and look at the pillars.
The Pillar of the Mind.
It's not so much a vampire sword as it's the sword we were impaled on. And when Mortanius resurrected us, we were a vampire. It turned us into a vampire.
The Pillar of Dimension. The Pillar of Conflict. The Pillar of Nature. The Pillar of Energy. The Pillar of Time. The Pillar of Death. The Pillar of States. The Pillar of Balance.
And those are the 9 pillars of Nosgoth that govern the natural forces of the world. Each pillar is tied to a guardian, and the pillars themselves reflect the mental states of the guardians.
The Pillar of Balance.
If we get a proper look at one of the pillars
The Pillar of Conflict.
well, we saw in the beginning, like, the pillars have begun to crumble. For those of you who watch award-winning television, you may recognize the voice of Ariel.
These beacons serve as landmarks during my flights in bat form. Once I have committed their locations to memory, I can always return. In bat form, I can travel great distances with ease. From my vantage in the heavens, no region of Nosgoth is forbidden to me.
Yeah, so Ariel is voiced by Anagon, who had a prominent role in the hit series Breaking Bad. Many years later. Considerably later. I mean, to be fair, Teak, that is often some of the best television. One thing that I do like about the series going forward is they retain all the voice actors. any characters that return, the voice actors are brought back. And I really like that. It's a good touch. Ariel becomes more and more attractive as the series goes on. Gonna... Thank you.
While it is true that natural light weakens a vampire, magical light can have many uses indeed.
No, that's not the one I want. This is a spell we're going to get some good use out of. Just going to push this button. Yeah, some of the voice actors are people you might recognise from other things. Tony J, of course, I think best known as the voice of Frollo in The Hunchback of Notre Dame. But if you grew up in the 90s, you might also recognise him as the voice of Megabyte in Reboot, which I think is probably one of his best roles. Tony J also appeared in the first season of Lois and Clark: The New Adventures of Superman as Lex Luthor's butler. Simon Templeman has had many roles over the series. Refuse to believe that he didn't also voice Megatron. Wasn't Megatron voiced by the same guy for a long time? Like, Optimus Prime has been voiced by Peter Cullen for a long time, I think. Is it Peter Weller who voices Megatron? I don't know. Simon Templeman has had many various roles over the years. He's become something of a regular for BioWare. And one of those voice actors who regularly appears in BioWare stuff. He played various Sith troopers in KOTOR. He plays Kai the Serpent in Jade Empire. He plays Loghain in Dragon Age Origins. He plays one of the Quarian Admirals. One of the Quarian Admirals in Mass Effect 2 and 3. And there are other voice actors that are worth noting as we go forward. Because of time travel, we do run into Janos Audron later in the series. He's voiced by Renee... I never know how to pronounce his last name. But, like, chances are you'll know him as the guy who played Odo in Star Trek Deep Space Nine. I think Mobius is voiced by Richard Doyle. Like, it's a strong cast. Indeed, rest in peace, Odo. And the same's true of Tony J. Like, people have been clamouring for a return from this series for a long time, but Tony J passed away not long after Defiance came out. Like, within a couple of years. And you couldn't replace him either. One thing to look forward to as we go further into the series, both Soul Reaver 2 and Defiance have cast outtakes, which I find to be just wonderful little things. of like a bunch of the main cast getting the lines messed up and stuff, including Simon Telman, Tony J, Michael Bell, who voices Raziel in the later games. Oh, that's interesting. I thought they'd kept the same voice actor for Optimus Prime since like the 80s. I know they kept him for the Transformers movies. What was I saying?
My lupine form enables me to move like lightning and leap over obstacles barring my path. But the guise of the wolf brings with it its own kind of hunger and rage.
I can't remember what I was saying then. Oh. I thought it was a case of like Scooby-Doo. Like somehow they just kept the same set of actors for decades. I guess Scooby-Doo really is a strange exception with that. Like somehow they kept Casey Kasem, and it's like from the 60s until his retirement. Who's the one who voiced Velma? Nicole Jaffrey, I think it was. She stuck around for a surprising amount of time. I think Peter Weller kind of always voiced Scooby-Doo. Screwed that up.
Heart of Darkness.
Seriously?
The Heart of Darkness.
Why am I having so much trouble with this? That was embarrassing. Yeah. Peter Weller, I'm pretty sure Peter Weller voiced Scooby-Doo for like 50 years. Until they replaced him in the Scoob movie. Huh. Now that's actually an interesting thought then. Because that would mean the Transformers movie was doing the nostalgia bait casting like years before anything else was. Like you think about anything that brings back the old actors. Yeah. Like that had to be to pander to the fans, because they didn't do that with Megatron. Megatron was specifically voiced by Hugo Weaving. It's like, yeah, let's get a big actor to voice Megatron, rather than anybody who'd previously voiced him. Yeah, that means that the Transformers movies, of all things, were doing the nostalgia cast years before anything else really was.
Night dawns, and with it, the vampire grows stronger.
It's kind of weirdly fascinating. Speaking of that kind of casting, weird thing I've been seeing over the last couple of days, apparently there's a Batgirl movie coming out. The last I'd heard of that, Joss Whedon had left the project. I didn't realise it was basically done. And Michael Keaton's in it, which I wasn't aware of. And Brendan Fraser's playing Firefly. Like, I kept hearing about it over the last couple of days, so I looked into it. And like, everything about that sounds like a weird fan dream. Like, Michael Keaton's playing Batman again. And Brendan Fraser's Firefly is a weird choice in this day and age. Like 10, 15 years ago, sure. Oh. And J.K. Simmons is playing Commissioner Gordon again.
One must be wary in dealing with the spirit forges. The wraiths and shades that inhabit them offer items beyond mortal dreams in exchange for a sampling of your blood. The wraithsmiths forge their items with forfeit souls.
Shed your blood for me, and these artifacts will be yours.
I mean, maybe. The thing of it being specifically a movie for HBO Max is a little bit,
So, you come to the Spirit Forge for help, do you, vampire? Trade your secrets for the blood of the dead, I will.
I'm just going to put it out there, Flashpoint isn't a good story. Well, everything I've heard that's come out about the Flash movie says that it's decent. Although the interesting thing recently has been that, oh yeah, no. Everybody's kind of hoping they just drop Ezra Miller after this. Because of all the shit he's been doing. Like, that's been interesting. Like, oh yeah, what if we use Flashpoint as like the perfect opportunity to recast him with and just replace him with Grant Gustin? And it's like, you know, I mean, I wouldn't be against that. I imagine Grant Gustin would probably be a lot better if he had a decent script to work with. Which just doesn't happen in the TV show. I don't know, I mean, can you really make Flashpoint worse? Although I'm surprised you agree with me on that. I thought this would be another one of those points where we disagree. I don't know, I guess we'll see. I'm mildly curious about Black Adam, but the issue with Black Adam... Ugh. The issue with Black Adam is very much the same issue as the Flash movie has. As nice as the concept of it is, like, oh yeah, great, Black Adam, or like, oh yeah, great, The Flash. It's not why I'm going to go and see the movie. I'm probably not going to go and see the movies. I'll watch them eventually, but it's not why I'll watch the movies. With the Flash movie, the main reason why I'll watch it is going to be Michael Keaton. like the main reason why I'm interested in watching Black Adam at this point is the Justice Society. Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate? Yes, please. Hawkman? Looking fantastic. Oh, yeah.
The energy bolt employs magical force in its rawest form. A messy spell, but a potent one nonetheless.
Absolutely there for Keaton. It's like, oh yeah, the Flash gets his own movie. Cool, about time. But it's also going to have Michael Keaton coming back as Batman. Like, no. I've immediately stopped caring about the Flash in that regard. Black Adam looks good, but like I say, Justice Society is my main interest in it now.
The Heart of Darkness.
I don't get the magical shield for a while yet. This might have been somewhere worth going to later.
The Heart of Darkness.
How many of these do I have left? 3. I can shoot through walls. Awesome. Oh. Just gonna...
The Heart of Darkness.
Yeah, more than anything though, I'm just really surprised this Batgirl movie's really slipped under the radar this far. It's like I heard nothing about it until like this week. I especially didn't hear that Michael Keaton was in it playing Batman again. Well, I'm down for Batgirl. I like Batgirl as a character. I like what Gail Simone did with her. Gail Simone had a really good Batgirl run. If we can avoid the whole James Gordon Jr. thing, I'd appreciate that. Not super into that as a story idea. I mean, I don't disagree with you, Teak. Even when Warner Brothers have done DC characters right on screen lately, it feels like it's been more of an accident than anything. I mean, I think the best show of that is like Wonder Woman to Wonder Woman 84. I still have not seen Birds of Prey, and I have no interest in it. The only idea I find mildly interesting about Birds of Prey is Ewan McGregor as Black Mask. But I'm not watching the full movie just for that. And I don't like Harley Quinn as a character enough to watch a movie for her. Like, yeah, she's a good part of Suicide Squad and the Suicide Squad, but I don't want to watch a movie of her. Like, Cassandra Cain's been done dirty by DC for a long time. What am I missing here? Like, the way Batgirl worked out entirely in New 52 was frustrating. Oh, everything I've seen of the animated series has been fantastic. I will not disagree with that. Like, DC being fun? Absolutely. But then there's also the thing of, like, live action Harley. Yeah. Margot Robbie does a good job as her, but I have no confidence in live action writers doing anything decent. What am I missing? You know what? I think I know. Yeah, I can do that. There we go. That was me being a ditz. The thing with the Harley Quinn animated series for me at this point is it'd be nice to have a way to watch it reliably and easily. But, you know, we don't get that shit. Just like it'd be nice to be able to watch Young Justice Season 3 and Season 4. Would you stop? Absolutely gonna abuse that. Well, later. That was a messy dungeon. Like, goodness me. Yeah. I don't know. I think it'd be kind of neat if DC looked at something like Into the Spider-Verse and decided, hey, that was really successful and just fantastic in general. Since we can't do a live-action movie to save our goddamn lives, what if we started giving our animated division that kind of budget? And letting them do theatrical movies instead of direct-to-DVD ones? like, imagine a world where Infinity War released, and in theaters, and Endgame released, and then like the same year as that, DC put out Justice League Dark Apocalypse War. But like it was a little longer to hit proper cinema length, and the budget of the quality of the animation was better, and like goddamn. Honestly, it's kind of a shame that the only lesson Sony seems to have learned from Into the Spider-Verse being a success is, hey, we should do another one. Not, hey, we should do more like this, just, hey, we should do another one.
The blood of ages flows so sweet. Come, drink from us.
You know, I didn't realize it, but like now that I'm really thinking about it, like, god damn, this is a 90s ass game.
Your strength has increased, for our blood enhances.
I think that's glitching. I don't think they're supposed to be showing floor tiles in the blood pool. Like, Sony's obsessed with trying to make this Spider-Man thing work. Of like, let's do everything we can with any character, even tangentially related to Spider-Man. Because we have the rights to them.
The village of Nachtholm was typical of Nosgoth peasantry. Yet amidst the farmers and smithies of the quiet country life prowled brigands and cut-purses.
Like, Morbius flopped. Because of course it did. The fact that flopped twice is hilarious. I was genuinely, like, a little concerned when they announced, like, because of all the memes and everything, it was going to be going back to theatres for a second run. I was concerned that it was going to do well after that. Because if it did well because of that, that would kind of change a lot of the dynamic of movies. And you could bet that Morbius 2 would absolutely just be a meme movie. Which, like, when companies try and get in on memes, it's always bad. See Sony again with the Emoji Movie. Yep. I saw a thing like, who's supposed to be playing Kraven in the Kraven movie? Is they're doing a Kraven movie? God, the tagline. The tagline for Morbius, another Marvel legend rises. It's like, who gives a shit about Morbius? But I like Spider-Man. I like a lot of the Spider-Man cast and villains and stuff. I've never cared about Morbius. There you go, Aaron Tyler Johnson. I was thinking it was Zac Efron for some reason. Kick-Ass. Kick-Ass who's doing it. I saw a thing of, like, in an interview he said that they're going to be reworking Kraven to be like a friend to animals and a protector. And it's like, what part of Kraven the Hunter don't you get?
methods I employ, this is perhaps the cruelest, causing my victim's body to shrink on itself, crushing bones and rupturing organs till the pressure inside bursts the sack of fleshy skin, spraying its contents for all to see.
But yeah, so there's like protector of animal, like Kraven the Hunter. I mean, if you want to go completely away from the idea, I think like if we're gonna do a movie specifically on Kraven, I think the best idea for it would be Ultimate Kraven. Like, not whatever Ultimate Kraven became, just like a Ultimate Kraven as he first appeared. Which was around the time of Doc Ock, I think. He first appeared around Doc Ock's first appearance in Ultimate, I think. Well, the Ultimate Universe was interesting and a nice change from the mainline universe, where things could be different in like really neat little ways. Before stuff like everybody was a dick except Spider-Man and Ultimatum. Yeah. All I remember of Ultimate X-Men is how everybody's a dick. It's like, oh yeah, Ultimate Colossus is gay, so Ultimate Nightcrawler hates him because of his religion. Because he's a Catholic. Ultimate Mystique has a grudge against Ultimate Professor X because they used to date and he cheated on her with Emma Frost. And it's like... Can't go there yet.
The blood of ages
Oh,
flows
another
so
one.
sweet. Come, drink from us. The rain will do you no harm, for our blood preserves.
Sweet. Yeah, every one of these blood fountains has a positive effect. The first one increased our strength so we can move some of these boulders. That one means we don't get hurt by rain. Which is nice, but it also comes so... like, we're less than an hour into the game. It comes so early, it kind of makes you wonder what the point is. Okay, so we can't move this yet. That sounds familiar, Teak. Like, the concept of that sounds familiar. I mean, at least part of it's just what they did with Iron Fist. Like, not the Night Immortal or Russian oligarch. Oh, there you go, Iron Fist for more murder. I don't even know where I'm going. Ooh. Excellent. Green Arrow with less murder. Yeah. Like, Arrow was a decent series for what I watched it for. But it's frustrating that they essentially made Green Arrow Batman. With all the brooding that entails. Because you know what I like about Green Arrow and most of the stuff he's in? He's more light-hearted. I get it, Green Arrow's had his... Alex worrying. Took a hard turn after the verses. Yeah, like, stop murdering people, Ollie. Okay, it's just a statue then. Like, season 2 I think was still good, and like, Manu Bennett as Deathstroke is some of the best casting I think we've seen. Don't like that. Yeah, we're gritty and realistic and hardcore, and I don't wear a mask because it's dumb, so I just spray paint. Just close my eyes and go shh with black paint. Bring on the metahumans and ninjas. To make it more interesting after the first season, they kind of had to. It's the problem of trying to adapt a comic book show. It's like, okay, either stop while you're ahead, or keep going and make it crazier and crazier. Oh, I completely went around the town. Hello, good day. No, I want to go in the other entrance, don't I? Shit. Oh, it doesn't matter. Alright. One of these houses have the magical shield. Ladies. That's a lot of women in this house. Some of them have knives. Is this a brothel? The guys are attacking me. Anyway. Yeah, I don't know. Like... Ultimately, I think like one of the biggest problems with Arrow and just the CW shows in general, people talk about the dwindling budgets and stuff, which wasn't a huge issue for Arrow while I was watching it. The problem was the soap opera style writing, which that kind of thing spread out across an entire season as well, was just shit. I don't know. Curious.
Please, help me, kind sir!
Anyway. But yeah, live action DC. Just kinda wish it'd stop. With the shows at least, not the movies. The movies could get interesting.
This lunatic was delighted to see me. Perhaps his madness would reveal a greater truth.
The bastards in Stenchen Crow shun me as Nosgov shuns them. I know what it means to be an outsider vampire. I fear you not. But remember this, there are others who will speak to you, so long as you know how to look.
Yeah, we should be getting that before we hit the next town though. Nope. Yeah, I don't know. Just
The gypsies, purveyors of distrust and superstition. Most of their babble should be taken with a pinch of salt, since the gypsies often tinker with weary travelers' minds. However, a few gypsies have something interesting to say.
yeah, I don't know. The I'm kind of hopeful for the Batman, for this Batgirl movie. At the very least, like Michael Keaton as Batman again will be really cool. And they have specifically been saying that like it's not Michael Keaton as old Bruce Wayne, it's Michael Keaton as Bat. It's like, oof, that's interesting. Very interesting.
There are benefits to traveling beneath a human guise. The threat to my person is lessened, and much information can be gleaned. However, the illusion is flimsy, and any act of aggression on my part can break the spell.
Right, so now we have the human disguise. Later on we can get an upgrade for this that makes us appear as a nobleman, which is better.
The trading caravans from Avernus did not show up this week. Very strange, you know. The trading caravans from Avernus did not show up this week. Very strange, you know.
I hope whoever's in here doesn't say the same thing.
Those money-grubbing scabs always show up on time. Not this week, though.
Paul Lukather, that's who it is. And like, this voice is familiar. Like, who is it? It's not someone we've met yet. It's the guy who plays Vorador.
Those money-grubbing scabs always show up on time. Not this week, though. Those money-grubbing scabs always show up on time. Not this week, though. The trading caravans from Avernus did not show up this week. Very strange, you know.
Hmm.
Something is amiss. The wagons from Avernus just never turned up.
Vasabund lay, its glory now stained and faded, a faithful child in the looming shadow of Nupraptor's retreat.
Sweet. So, Napraptor's tree is our first destination.
Something's not right. The pilgrims go in, but I ain't never seen one come out.
Nupraptor's keep lay west of Vasabund. I would seek to cut the cancer from its heart.
That's not evil at all. I mean, it is. It's very, very evil.
Nupraptor had servants. One day, one escaped the keep and stumbled into our village. Mad he was, and his skin and hair white as a sheet, scared out of his wits.
Oh, I ran out of magic. You come at someone with a knife, you gotta be expecting to get a hit back.
Beware, stranger. There was another vampire attack last night.
At times, my magic extends into very exotic disciplines, such as the manipulation of time. I am able to slow time down so I can move about, quick as a wolf, while all others move as though they were mired in mud.
Good day to you. The king's heart pines for his daughter. Someone stole her soul, you know.
There used to be a vampire living there. Before the Sarafan hunted and killed him, they say he screamed 80 days and nights before he died. He vowed vengeance, he did.
Ooh, aren't you the handsome one?
Anyway. So we're getting some hints towards the later stuff that we were doing.
Nupraptor had servants. One day, one escaped the keep and stumbled into our village. Mad he was, and his skin and hair white as a sheet, scared out of his wits.
Yeah, the king's daughter, her soul been stolen. That is something for way later.
A drink for your trouble, sir?
The nights can get very cold around here, stranger. I can help you get through it.
Thanks, nights are when I thrive.
That lunatic on the hill! It's not right that we good people have to put up with his magic. Something has to be done!
Alright. Not magic yet. But getting close enough that we might as well just cancel. Not dealing with you. Excuse me.
The wind carried screams from the west. I couldn't help but smile. Someone else in this world was suffering more than I.
Alright, so let's head for Napraptor's Keep.
Victor!
When you get the opportunity, absolutely take advantage of the poor pathfinding and collision. It'll be what gets you through some of these fights. Good day. I am just a simple human.
The mage is insane, I tell you! Insane! Listen, can't you hear him cackling to himself? That lunatic on the hill. It's not right that we good people have to put up with his magic. Something has to be done. Sometimes, if you listen carefully, you can hear screams echoing from within. I ain't never been up there, nor would I ever.
Yeah, I think like at least 3 of those were voiced by Simon Templeman.
Good day to you.
That's Tony J.
The mage is insane, I tell you! Insane! Listen, can't you hear him cackling to himself?
That's to Simon Templeman. Alright.
The gaping maw of Napraptor's retreat rained upon Nosgoth all his pain and misery. The disease begged to be cleansed.
Alright. So this is our first, like, true dungeon. This one's going to be longer than the ones we've done so far. Like, considerably. And it'll end in a boss fight. Get some of that Napraptor's Keep music.
The mentalist Napraptor was renowned through Nosgoth for his tricks of the mind, telepathy and telekinesis. Pilgrims travelled from all across the land seeking the comfort of his lies. I sought not his wisdom, but his life.
I wanna take your head. I wanna take your head. So, one thing that hasn't come up yet, but will do eventually, like you can see certain enemies and creatures will bleed different colours. For example, this bleeds green, though we can't drain it. There are ways to drain creatures of blood without having to put them into the state where they can be drained. And there are 4 kinds of blood: red, blue, green and black. Red heals health, blue heals magic, green poisons you and black just takes health away.
Please, help me, kind sir!
Hey, Victor!
Yeah, so pay attention to what colour enemies will bleed if you have the chance to drain them. Not dealing with this. Glorious.
Please, help me, kind sir!
So that's what the noise is, the spawning more of the slimes. Alright.
You dare intrude upon my sanctuary? Can I not mourn in peace? Leave. Leave and let my solitude be complete.
Alright. Yeah, I need to remember it takes 6 hits to kill those guys. I love that his scream is just incorporated into the track for this.
Save Victor! Save Victor!
It's a nice touch.
Please, help me, kind sir! Please, help me, kind sir!
Good thing I got these.
Please, help me, kind sir!
I came upon one of Nupraptor's serving girls, catatonic with fear, choking out half words through bloodied, broken teeth. Although tempted by hunger, I stayed my hand, allowing her to tell her story. She spoke of her lord Nupraptor, driven to insanity by the brutal slaying of his beloved Ariel. She spoke of his self-mutilation, sewing his eyes and lips shut to deny the outside world. Fueled by despair and hopelessness, he turned his magic on the circle, infecting their minds with his madness. Nupraptor cared for nothing now, save his pathetic self-pity. Scars such as hers would never heal. Death would only be a mercy.
Well, I am a very merciful sort.
Please, help me, kind sir!
I seriously love like the gravity with which the lines are performed in this. Stop walking into me. I can't hit you if you're in there. Yeah, I feel like the gravity with which the lines presented, the seriousness, and just the strength of the vocal delivery is like one of the best parts of the series. And like they're given such... what's a good word? Such specific dialogue for it. Really helps the series stand out.
The cretin squandered life and left it seeping on the floor. Such waste was a travesty. Perhaps Nupraptor needed to be taught a lesson as to the value of blood.
Interesting image. Ah, criminy. Alright. The good news is once we get through this place, we get a new set of weapons. And the door's locked. Thank you. Thank you. Go. Fortress of... Alright, line them up. Yeah, that's one. What's round two gonna be? Very different. Yeah, that was a bad idea. Just gotta wait for it to run out now. How are you guys doing? You had a good Sunday? Awesome. Alright, so... I noticed you streamed yesterday, T. Sea of Thieves. Heard you had to put up with some griefing. Surprised you didn't just do more Metroid. It's usually what you do if you're streaming Saturday, more of your franchise Fridays. And if you stream later and I can stay awake, I'll pop in. I'm not in work tomorrow. Oh, you bastards. That's very fair. It's the kind of thing that's always turned me off from a lot of multiplayer stuff. When your enjoyment is dependent on other people and you just can't trust people. You can't trust randoms. It's weird, I saw you brought up the World of Warcraft comparison. They have new Cuphead DLC. I've still not played Cuphead. There we go. Yeah, so you brought up a World of Warcraft comparison with PvE areas, but it brings to mind the question of, like, why not just have the option for solo? Like, it's the simplest idea. Just give people who don't want to deal with other people, do that. Oh, that's not how I was supposed to do that at all. I do have a question about the Cuphead Netflix series. Is the Netflix series animated like a Fleischer cartoon? Because if it isn't, then what's the point?
When conjured, the energy bank permits me access to mass amounts of magical energy for a brief period of time. However, when the moment passes, I will be drained of all magic, unable to cast even the simplest of spells.
Because it's a cool game. Yeah, I can believe it. The idea of Sea of Thieves sounds nice. Like, hey, pirate game. Go and explore the open seas, maybe with your friends. Sounds nice, but like, if its enjoyment is dependent entirely on other people, no. That's fair. I wasn't gonna watch it. I was just curious of, like, did they animate it like a Fleischer cartoon? Because if they didn't, then what's the point? Right, and that's that. Take your firebucks and piss off. Just gonna... Thank you. And thank you. Not sure what that's done, but... Right. Ooh, goodies. Looks pretty modern. Again, then what's the point? Because let's be fair, the appeal of Cuphead wasn't really the gameplay, it was the visuals. The gameplay could be fine. It could be a nice modern replacement for Contra. Contra just doesn't really exist anymore. But the big selling point and appeal of it was absolutely the visuals.
From the depths of the retreat's eye sockets, I viewed Nosgoth in a different fashion. The glass seemed to warp the image and taint the color. As if Nosgoth needed assistance in making its corruption apparent.
Yeah, this is always going to be the way of that kind of... It's yet another case of demanding you play this game the way they intended. which, like, sometimes the way the developer intends you to play the game is not the best way to play the game.
Should this object strike an enemy, rot and decay would instantly eat their flesh and leave only a pool of blood and tissue. For a time after, the toxins are still active and therefore lethal to the touch.
I mean, look at most things Nintendo's put out over the last 10, 15 years. A lot of the time, the way they want you to play it is not the best way to play it. Save point. Speaking of, like, multiplayer focused stuff, did you see that tweet EA made that everybody's been ragging on?
So, Malik, have you come to fail the circle once more? Leave, Paladin. I do not need your protection. Come, Kain. Come, share my pain.
Yeah, the one on the left was Naprapta, the one on the right was Malik. Alright, so let's do this.
So, this was the mentalist Nupraptor, this broken, pathetic little man. Yet crippled as he was, he would not yield without battle. Very well, old fool. If it is death you seek, I will not deny you.
I feel like this is essentially Entropy from Crash 3. But it's simply a fight. Barely even a fight. Back and forth until we get to this point, and then... That's it. If you notice, his head flew off to the side.
Perhaps the head of her beloved will convince Ariel that I have accomplished my task.
His dead body hurts me. Curious.
The mace is amongst my most useful of weapons, for it merely stuns my victims, allowing me ample time to feed. The Heart of Darkness. Reputed to have... The Heart of Darkness. Spiked mace.
Yeah.
The mace is amongst...
But yeah, the tweet EA put out is like, when she's a 10 but only plays single player games. And it's like, it's kind of way too late to be making a claim like that. Like, yeah, years ago when EA was demanding that multiplayer was the way forward, sure, but like, they themselves have had big single player successes since. Which is like one of the weirdest things now for them to go on about. But yeah, everybody's been making fun of it. It doesn't help that EA hasn't put out a decent multiplayer game in a while either. EA's good at EA. It's really a shame because like they used to put out really good stuff. Like, I play old games. I play a lot of
I
retro
placed
games.
Nupraptor's head before the Pillar of the Mind, and watched on as it dissolved into the stone. The pillar accepted its offering. Thus, it was restored.
Nupraptor was but the genesis. Forever tainted by his madness, the circle was beyond redemption. For them, absolution lay only in death. In me, they would find their deliverance. But first I had to defeat their shepherd. Malek, defender of the Nine, lay in a keep to the far north, past Vassabunt. It was time for me to test the wrath of the Pillar of Conflict.
Death in the circle breathes life to the pillars. For every pillar, there is a token. Only with these shall they be restored. But to reach a warrior, you must first breach his ward. Find Malek and destroy him. Only then will the circle fall.
So yeah, Malek, the Guardian of the Pillar of Conflict, who we saw in the opening, who was damned to have his soul bonded to his armor for eternity. And there is the restored Pillar of the Mind.
The Pillar of the Mind.
Yeah, I play a lot of old stuff. And like, a bunch of my favourite old stuff is EA. Hey Rockstar, welcome to the stream. Hey Victus indeed. Nupraptor is now suffering to the conquered. We've just taken out the first Guardian of Pillars, and we are going to head towards the next one. Malek, Guardian of the Pillar of Conflict. Yeah, I play a lot of old games, and like EA did do a lot of my favourite old games. Like, I love the old Bond games. And with the exception of GoldenEye, EA developed them. Or published them, at least. Like, they had the license for it. Back! Back! Ooh. No big deal for Kain. You say that. I think he might be a big deal for Kain. Maybe no big deal for someone else. Oh, wonder what's in this cave.
The blood of ages flows so sweet. Come, drink from us. Your magic energy recovers more quickly, for our blood enhances.
10 out of 10. Hopefully I'll be fine. Alex Keep is... Conceptually, Alex Keep is fascinating. And like, the gameplay effect is really neat. But it is a little tricky to go through. How many Hearts of Darkness do I have? 8. Oh yeah, Legacy... Blood Omen's a fantastic game.
Years ago, word reached us of a strange pestilence that had laid siege to a few remote villages far east. But the rumors failed to prepare us for the horror that was the plague.
So yeah, starting today, going forward until we are done, we're going to be playing Legacy of Kain every Sunday until we've done all 5 games.
Worms and maggots fed upon his festering skin. The scent of tainted blood seeped through the wounds upon which they feasted. Pity. Such a waste. Good blood gone bad. Korhagen, my home. The finest city in all of Nosgoth, rich in vanity and conceit. I had no delusions as to the welcome I would receive.
the finest city in all of Nosgoth. Meridian would have something to say about that. I love Meridian. Like, the design of it is so good. Love the aesthetic.
Death and disease stalked these streets. Bodies lay most in the very spots in which fate had taken them. A perfect homecoming.
Hey, it's our buddy Magic. Can we get a shout out for Magic, please? How you doing, Magic?
'Tis the plague, my lord. It eats at our bodies. There is no hope. Begone, good sir, lest you share our fate. Bring out your dead. Bring out your dead. Unclean. Begone. Save yourself. Unclean.
He's only mostly dead. Thank you, Teak. Give yourself a shout out while you're at it as well, Teak. Teak is also good people. Yeah, so you finished the Tomb Raider reboot. How did you find it, Magic? Very good. I always enjoy Blood Omen until we get later in the game and it starts getting a little frustrating. I'm glad you're doing good. Glad you're doing good. Actually, a fun thing today. Got out of work a little earlier today. So we took a look in CEX because we got out before they shut. And we'll take a look, see what the interesting stuff they've got on at the minute is.
Brave Victor! Brave Victor!
And they had Blood Omen. They had Blood Omen Legacy of Kain in. They want £50 for it.
Iron Sword.
Brave Victor! Brave Victor!
Right. I couldn't remember which one you hadn't done. I know we spoke about it, I think, on your stream. Yeah. Rise of the Tomb Raider is solid. I think mechanically it's probably an improvement over the reboot. This is what I'm after, absolutely. This will make dealing with magic such a much easier thing. Tired of people throwing magic at me. Yeah, Blood Omen, like £50. Yeah, another game I've got that is actually more valuable than I realised. Not that they'd give me £50 for it.
Brave Victor!
Breathe. God damn it, I almost got through there. Oh. I don't. Oof. That's a real shame. it's one of the main reasons why I'm absolutely down for just emulating. So many of these games are so ridiculously pricey. I mean, the fortunate thing with this now is that you can get it on PC. Since it came out in GOG last year. But still, like, absolutely. Ghost in the Shell on PS1 is really good. Like, it's a fun game, it works weirdly well. Like, you wouldn't think a game like that would work so well on PS1, but it absolutely does. One cool thing as well, the Ghost in the Shell came out in '95, it was dubbed in English around the time. The Ghost in the Shell game brings back the entire cast of the original dub to dub the cutscenes, and like, it's a really nice touch. Especially because it's a good cast. Ghost in the Shell got a good dub. There it is. Yeah, Ghost in the Shell's a fun game. Definitely worth playing. This door, I don't think I went in it. God, that reminds me, I need to get around to doing that demo I did. It's like the PlayStation had like such really good demos. So I've got an idea for a segment I want to do. The idea of calling it the demo reel. And it would specifically be me playing through old demo discs. Some games I've played, some games I haven't. Some demos I've played, some I haven't. Oh, I think it could be really interesting. Ah, crap.
Invoking this spell cloaks me under a protective aegis. Whatever spell is cast at me will be reflected back at the caster, leaving me unharmed. It will only last for a short time, however, before leaving me vulnerable once more.
Excellent. So now we can stop trading magic back and forth and just use this. So much better. And Blood Omen is one of those games that is absolutely fantastic for making you feel like you're growing more powerful, and then by the end of the game having you be an absolute beast. I need some blood. Some blood for me veins. Yeah, there's some demos that are absolutely worth checking out like that. That's the entrance. Here, I went in one of these houses. Yeah, that's the exit. And like, get stuff like Final Fantasy VII demo, which is interesting. The Final Fantasy VIII demo, which is pretty interesting. It's like the 8 demo in particular, I know, has you going to Galette with Renoa instead of Cypher, which is kind of interesting. Like various differences in interface and stuff in the final product. You can emulate them, like you can get the ROMs, because I don't. Unfortunately, I don't have any of my old demo discs anymore, which is a real shame. But you can emulate them with the ROMs. Same as anything, like it's a PS1 ISO. If you've got it, you can emulate it. I'll find somebody who's alive so I can rip the throat out and drink the blood. Off. Okay, I have a minute. There we go. Yeah, I remember demo discs. Like they were so cool. Played it last year on stream for Christmas. You know, that is a really good way to get a nostalgia hit. Absolutely is. I should throw all my my demo ROMs onto one of these and just like set a day aside for it, because that could be like a good short stream idea. Like, oh, here's a demo disc, pop it on, and just play all the demos that are on there. Because like, how many demo discs take longer than like an hour or two? Unless you're gonna go into like the Net Your Rose stuff, which can take a while. Which was just fascinating in its own right. Ooh, bone armor. I feel like it's kind of a shame the Net Your Rose stuff has been kind of lost to time, because it was such a neat concept. Like, early gaming, accessible indie stuff on console. Because it was essentially like one of the earliest cases of indie games on consoles. Not on PC, because PC always had that kind of thing. Ooh, armor on it. Yeah, I should see about doing that. Like, forget about waiting for a specific time to be ready for it. Let's just do it. How many PS2 demos I could find? Because I know the PS2 had demos. I do have that Final Fantasy X demo. Because like, it's one of those things, in the US, on PlayStation, you guys got Final Fantasy Origins, Chronicles, and Anthology. And like, Origins was 1 and 2, Chronicles was 4, and Chrono Trigger, and Anthology was 5 and 6. We didn't get Chrono Trigger. So we got Origins, which was 1 and 2, Anthology, which was 4 and 5, and then we got Final Fantasy 6 with a demo disc for Final Fantasy 10. And I have that demo disc. I have Final Fantasy 6 on PlayStation. And it's with the demo disc. And I've never actually played the demo for it. It's kind of a weird thing, like by the time I had a PlayStation 2, I also had Final Fantasy 10. So I was never in a position where I needed to play the demo. Well, that could be kind of interesting. I wonder if there's any differences between that and like the final product. Probably not, but it could be interesting. There was that Biohazard Code Veronica trial disc that I showed off once, which was kind of neat. And like, I know Zone of the Enders came with a Metal Gear Solid 2 demo, and that was like most of what it sold on. It's like, that'd be cool. Oh. It's weird though, because like I do own Zone of the Enders, and my copy didn't come with a Metal Gear Solid 2 demo. It's like I think early versions of Devil May Cry came with a Code Veronica demo, or was it like early versions of Code Veronica came with a Devil May Cry demo? I think it's one of the two. Like, I have Code Veronica X on PS2 and Devil May Cry 1 on PS2. I don't have a demo for you.
Lower forms of undead fall swiftly to deception. With the bone armor, they are not as eager to challenge me. Bone armor.
Ooh. Well, this does bring up the point of, like, without experience or anything, if these guys aren't attacking, there's not a whole lot of point to attacking them. Interesting thought. Worth remembering.
Oh, please, help me, kind sir! Please, help me, kind sir!
You need something to replenish that. Gonna have to go and get that.
Oh, please, help me, kind sir!
Little by little, that vial's gonna hit the top. I'm just gonna jump over. Please help me, kind sir, dressed in bones. The interesting thing with that line, though, please help me, kind sir, you can hear that line in Defiance, which came out on PS2 and Xbox almost 10 years after this, and like they carried the line over. And it's not just they got somebody to say the line, it's literally the same recording of the line, which is kind of weird. There we go. Yeah, because you start Defiance in the Seraphine Keep, and the Seraphine Keep has a lot of people just chained up to the wall like Blood Omen does, and they do recycle that line. It's not as compressed, so you can hear it better. Like, it's the same recording. It's kind of surprising. What is it with you things in the corners of rooms? Do you mind? Yeah, I don't remember if there were people chained up later in the game. Ah, crap. Magic. Yeah, I don't remember if there are people chained up later in the game, in the various areas you go to. Like, there's definitely people chained up in the Seraphine Keep. Very much like this game. Oh. Hmm. Well, are we good? Nope, we're not getting out yet. Good day, fellow human.
'Tis the plague, my lord. It eats at our bodies. There is no hope.
What a tragedy. Anybody got any goodies? Interesting thing you got on the floor there. That's a ghost. Let me just get it, my bludgeoning weapon. There we go. Okay. Sure, that opens other doors then. No. It's weird that you can turn it back then.
Save Victor! Save Victor!
Maybe I need to kill the ghosts. With a sword.
Iron sword.
accomplish anything? Nope. Alright, I guess we're leaving. I look forward to getting to Defiance, because Defiance has some good ideas. But I also don't look forward to getting to Defiance, because the last time I played Defiance, the Spectral Realm gun gave me a headache. Do you mind? Yeah, like the weird blur effect that's just over like all of the Spectral Realm. Really frustrating. It didn't used to bother me. So this has to be the way forward unless there's something around this corner which I want to check real quick just to be sure. No, alright. No, I've done this game a few times over the years, it's just been a long time since I've done it. Past the cave, past Mobius's cave.
This cleanses my body of any dangerous poisons. Quite useful with all the filth I find myself surrounded by.
Like I said, like earlier. Well, no backseat, no spoilers is just in general, honestly. No backseating because, like, no, but I don't think anybody's really fond of backseating. No spoilers because some people in the chat might be interested in the game and might not have played it or seen it before. So I just want to give them a chance to experience it for themselves as we go. God damn it. Absolute idiot. Yeah, I've been playing Blood Omen for a very long time now. Blood Omen is the first game I recall playing that had blood in it. I came off the Super Nintendo onto the PlayStation.
A medley of death and evisceration. Let fate choose my enemy's demise.
Yeah, I came off the Super Nintendo onto the PlayStation. So like, all of a sudden there was blood and violence and everything. Oh no, I've been doing all of them. And like, the thing that might get you with this, Blood Omen 2 is my favourite. I really like a lot of what Blood Omen 2 does. So yeah, the order's going to be Blood Omen, Soul Reaver 2, Blood Omen 2, Defiance.
Victus!
I like the aesthetic of Blood Omen 2. Like, the very steampunk design of it, I really like. Which is unfortunate because it loses that when you leave the city halfway through. And then just becomes a lot less interesting visually. I like Uma as a character. I think she's interesting. It's a shame they didn't get to do human Uma in Defiance like they were intending to. You know what? Be glad to have you here, buddy. I don't know what that is in the center of the room, but it concerns me. I mean, that's very fair. Blood Omen 2 is kind of a weird black sheep.
Iron sword.
Partly because of its aesthetic. I feel like the Legacy of Kain vibes are still I feel like the Legacy of Kain vibes... Thanks for the follow, Rox. I feel like the Legacy of Kain vibes are still strong enough in Blood Omen 2 to carry it through its new setting. Seeing some of what Kain did between Blood Omen and Soul Reaver I think is really neat. I can definitely understand why you prefer Soul Reaver. For one, the control is a lot freer. It's weird that we go from Soul Reaver and Soul Reaver 2 into Blood Omen 2, and the control is a lot stiffer for some reason.
Malek's bastion, perched defiantly on the mountaintop, black as night against the blanket of snow. What manner of man would choose a land so harsh and utterly devoid of life?
One that is harsh and utterly devoid of life himself. Oh, this will be interesting. I feel like you guys haven't been using the reader lines often enough lately. So I'd like you to get back on that. Alright. So that's the Elder God saying that, undeniably. I was thinking for a second it was Kain, but Kain doesn't learn the revelations of the Elder God until right at the end. I cannot do a Tony J impression. My voice will not go that deep. Absolutely. But I think this might do. Soul Reaver 2. The weird thing with Soul Reaver 2 is like the Elder God's just kind of there in Soul Reaver 1. I wouldn't say spoiler, if that meshes with what the Elder God says at the start of Soul Reaver 1. Vampires can't, like... Vampires' souls cannot return to the Wheel of Fate, creating a problem that could endanger everything. It's the opening, is what it says in the opening of Blood of Soul Reaver 1, essentially. These are the fathomless truths, Raziel. The agony of birth and death and rebirth. This is the Wheel of Fate, the purifying cycle which sustains all life. Vampires are an abomination, a plague which leeches this land of its spiritual strength. That's fun. I like doing those. Thanks for that, Rox. I do enjoy doing those. Alright, let's go. Thank you. Alright, let's get in there. I always loved these sequences as a kid. I played this game way too long. And I played this game way too young. I should not have been playing this at like 5. Excellent, I'm glad you enjoyed it, Rox. Alright. And now for the trials and tribulations of Malik's Keep. I should have stocked up on blood. Oh, that's enough.
I know you are here, demon. The stench of death clings to you.
The interior was as cold and sterile as the snow outside, with empty suits of armor and sharp, cruel steel lining the walls.
So the real trouble of Malik's Keep is the complete lack of blood. And one thing that may not have become entirely apparent yet is that Kain's health is constantly draining. So combine that with an area where we just cannot replenish our health, and it creates something of a troublesome spot.
My warriors are but shadows of my skill, child.
This is gonna be tense. Okay. God damn it. So I have a feeling I'm gonna kill myself before I get some Malik. Ugh. Shoot. Okay, they're just gonna keep going.
The towering metal structure gave birth to these wraiths. I could hazard only a guess at its function. Fusing the souls of long-dead warriors to their armor so that they may do battle once again. Life without blood? What a travesty!
Do you hope to best me, Kain? Do not worry. Your challenge will not go unmet.
Cool. Alright, so as I said earlier, like, without the prospect of blood in killing enemies, there's not really much of a point to killing enemies. Absolutely go for that. Pick the damn thing up. That was dumb. Alright. I appreciate this giving me more Heart of Darkness though.
Your undeath does not make you immortal, vampire.
And you being tied to a suit of armor doesn't make you immortal. Armor breaks. Be bent, can be beaten. Torn asunder. Ah. I think this heals more if I just use it rather than waiting to be revived by it. So I think it's probably the best way to go. Back and forth, back and forth. Don't appreciate that. One of those tiles was out of sequence with the others. That was weird. I'm just so curious. Oh, that reminds me. With rocks following us now, that puts us on 193, which brings us ever closer to the 200 follower goal, and the playthrough of Shin Megami Tensei 1 and 2.
Come to slay the slayer of vampires, have you?
200 soon. That's absolutely right. And the follower goal for 200 followers is a full playthrough of Shin Megami Tensei 1 and 2. Primarily, we do RPGs on this channel. This is close enough, I guess. Absolutely, thank you.
My eyes yearned from lack of contrast. My mouth ached for want of blood. In this cold wasteland, food was scarce, and my hunger grew. The guards at the gate offered no resistance. They were frozen solid, and dead as they stood, their flesh welded to the cold metal of their armor.
Yeah, so, like, the follower goals we have set out are all for RPGs. Like, we hit 200 followers, and we'll be doing... I've set them all up to be, like, 2 RPGs. So we hit 200, and we do Shin Megami Tensei 1 and 2. We hit 250, and we do, I think, Suikoden 1 and 2. And then 300 is another 2, and so on and so forth. I think it's a fun idea, and the games I want to do on stream anyway, but God knows when I'll ever get around to them. Back! Cannot wait till I get the axes for combos. God damn it. Make a run. Lost a lot of health very quickly there, and I'm not entirely sure what happened. Don't mind me, I'm just passing through. Yeah, it's an interesting consideration. Duma was constrict, which I guess technically returns in Defiance as telekinesis. Technically. Kain goes a little bit back and forth with it. Like as far as we can tell in
The Heart of Darkness.
as far as we can tell in Soul Reaver, he's got all the abilities that he had here. Although he never shows Wolf again. We see him transform into Mist later on, and Bats. Transforms into Bats and Mist in both. Both Bats and Mist in Defiance. Wolf never appears again, so that's actually a very fair point. Mist returns in Blood Omen 2, but Bat doesn't. But Blood Omen 2 makes the case of Mist being a special ability unique to Kain. Like his ability to turn to Mist. Yeah, pretty much everything he gets in Blood Omen 2 doesn't return. No, the jump does, you are right. The jump returns in Blood Omen from Blood Omen 2 into Defiance. Charm doesn't. Telekinesis does, because both he and Raziel use telekinesis in Defiance. Appreciate you waiting for me to pass there, bro. You were rude.
A corpse held court on a tattered throne, grinning malignantly at me through blackened teeth.
It is not often that a man sees his own corpse. It is a sobering experience. But I am far less interested in my own corpse than I am in yours. Prepare yourself, vampire!
Ooh, save point. Most of the stuff that's in this doesn't appear again. Like the human disguise, magical bolts. I guess with Raziel it stands out more because he keeps every other ability. Ooh. Magic resistance, yeah. Oh. In Soul Reaver, the Spectral Blade is just as it is. They cut out the specific forging of them. The Aerial Blade and the Kain Blade. There's the fonts in Soul Reaver 2. And those, they always had to be re-imbued. It's one of the frustrating things in Soul Reaver 2. Having to re-imbue the Reaver whenever you needed to use any of the elements. I don't remember if it's a cut line of dialogue or something else, but there's supposed to be a point of... Oh, hey, Malik. There's supposed to be a point of the Elder God having destroyed all the fonts between games. Yeah, so this is Malik. He hits hard.
The Heart of Darkness.
Yeah, the glyphs. The magic system changes entirely, doesn't it? I accidentally pressed L2. So this is a fight we can't win. I think we knocked Malik down more than once, and then eventually we'll be just like, oh yeah, we gotta run. And a teleport panel will appear in the room. And getting caught one of those statues is gonna be really nice.
Save Victor! Save Victor!
Not there yet.
Save Victor! Save Victor! Save Victor! Save Victor! Save Victor!
Game could do with that replenishing faster. There we go.
Save Victor!
There it is. And we're out of there.
Havoc and malice, their presence in my hands keeps me from employing magic. Yet rest assured, they do little to hamper my relish for slaughter.
The axes.
The axes.
Love this bit.
'Twould seem Malik's destiny with my blade was postponed. Perhaps Ariel could offer further guidance.
It is ever so kind of you guys to come here to allow me to replenish myself.
heart of
And
darkness.
very carefully not to tear you apart. There we go. Replenish the health, and then we'll see about showing you guys what the axes can really do.
High upon the face of these cliffs, hidden amongst the complex network of caves, the underground sanctity of the wise Oracle of Nosgoth lay sleeping. Perhaps it was time to brave the winds and seek out this oracle from the vantage point of the heavens.
But first...
Oh, little vampire, the game grows interesting. But with so many pawns, can you find the true player?
Careful. Anything good in here? Save point and teleport pad. I'd love to see more of like the development of this. Like especially some of the stuff that we know was cut. Like the ghost ship that someone found. Like, that was years ago now though. If I'm gonna do this like the way that I want to, I'm gonna have to use the sword.
Iron sword.
Yeah, if you guys haven't seen I don't remember if it's a ghost ship or just like an ancient ship or something. Like, there's a ship in the code. Fully designed and rendered and everything. Just inaccessible in game, and there's no idea what it would actually... what part it'd take in the story.
The human mind is a fragile thing. One minor shock properly timed can render them catatonic and ripe for feeding.
Right, okay. Not a bad idea. But we're at full health, so next enemy we see, you're going to get to see the axes.
The axes.
Up close. And personal. Hey, mind, you're spoiling the axe. That shouldn't have been as tricky to pull off as it was. But, of course, the downside of the axes...
Iron sword.
Can't use magic. I can't see. The game has been really awkward today about letting me drink blood. Double whammy. You stop with your extender blades. Fools. Stop. Maybe I should be using this more. Alright, back in front of the save point. Almost 1 o'clock. I should probably look at it wrapping this up. Head to Ariel. We head to the Oracle's Cave. We'll save at the save point in the Oracle's Cave. Oh jeez, guys.
The heart
How
of
are they
darkness.
throwing at me? Whatever it is, it's fast. Ugh. Brutal. Hello.
The nights can get very cold around here, stranger. I can help you get through it.
Nothing to say. Where am I? None of that looks appealing. To the pillars. Dun, 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 dun. Cool. What do you got for me, Ariel?
Ah, the Lord returns empty-handed. Does the Seraphim elude you? Very well. Go east of Malak's Bastion. The Oracle shall give you aid.
It occurs to me that Ariel spends like this entire game fucking with Kain, and then proceeds to complain that he doesn't do exactly what she wants at the end. Here we go. Going down. Ariel remembers all except Sorivatsu. Oh boy. Oh god. Ugh. Gonna go back to the sword.
Iron sword.
Being able to switch quicker would be nice. Yeah, we're gonna get to the next save point. We're gonna call it. Ryzer isn't one around the entrance. Hmm. Nah, that's not worth it. I should use some of those flays though. Goodness, you're a weird looking thing. With poison blood. Everything in here has poison blood. That make it worse than Malik's Keep? Yeah, I'd say so. That button. It's a button. Open that door. Open these doors, alright. Who voices Mobius? I can't remember.
Save Victus! Save Victus!
Like Mobius is always the one I forget the actor for. Okay. And there, like, I'm definitely going around in circles. About to turn around till I saw the open door.
Save Victus!
Alright, bludgeon them down. Goodies. Gonna keep doing this. Can't drink the blood, it ain't worth it to fight him.
Save Victus! Save Victus!
Oh, it just keeps going. I just want a save point. I don't even know what I just unlocked. Endless dungeons of Nosgoth. One thing I do not lament as we go further in the series is the more focused design.
Save Victus!
Yeah, Blood Omen 1, very much so. Although this area I feel is particularly bad about because it doesn't even have the good music. Stop. Yeah, like other areas have had like some really good music. This area is just weirdly quiet.
Save Victus! Save Victus! Save
Had to get in the way, didn't it? Kane's voice is all you need.
Spiked mace.
I said earlier, like, it's cool that Simon Templeman's still got video game work after this. He became kind of a regular in BioWare stuff. Yeah, Blood Omen remake would be nice. Although I think if any game in the series most needed a remake, it'd probably be Soul Reaver. Thank you. And like we'll get to Soul Reaver when we get to it. I need to decide whether I'm doing the PlayStation or Dreamcast versions. Part of the issue with continuing Legacy of Kain as it is like how many of the actors are just not in a position to do it again.
Spiked mace. Iron sword.
Like Tony J passed away after Defiance. Which is particularly unfortunate. The guy who played Piano Sojourn passed away. Renee something. Again, I can't remember how to pronounce his name. Played Odo in Star Trek Deep Space Nine. I think Michael Bell's still alive, but surely he's retired by now. Simon Templeman might be up for it. I don't think we could ever really get a continuation of the Legacy of Kain storyline. I think the best we could hope for would be like a game set between Blood Omen 2 and Blood Omen 2 and Soul Reaver. Alright. There we go. Yeah, I'm unsure at the minute of like whether I'm going to do PlayStation Soul Reaver or Dreamcast. Oh, you mean Dead Son? The weird thing with Dead Son, like, I watched that, the leaked footage of it, And then Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor came out, and it was like, wow, this is that Legacy of Kain game that never came out. Like, the concepts were way too similar for it. Yeah, crap. The idea was weird to begin with. Like, set in Soul Reaver's world, but like without Kain or Raziel. Like, what's the point? You know, Square would have screwed it up. Maybe we'll see more from this series, like now that it's with Embracer. I don't get comfortable today. Yeah, now that it's with Embracer, and like when they got IDOS from Square, they specifically said like, you know, we hope to do more with Tomb Raider, Deus Ex, and Legacy of Kain. Like, they specifically said Legacy of Kain. Like, maybe like a Legacy of Kain collection would be nice. Like, introduce more people to the games. If there was going to be more, it would have to be completely separate from everything else, which becomes the problem of, like, it's Legacy of Kain. It's about Kain. I don't know. But yeah, that's going to do it for us for today. I want to thank everybody for joining the stream. I always really appreciate the support. Thank you so much. Big special thank you to everybody in the chat. Chat is always the best part of the stream. Teak, Magic, and Rocks. Thank you so much for joining me and keeping me company. Chat is always the best part of the stream. And super big special thank you to Rocks for the follow. I'm glad you enjoyed what you saw here today and decided to follow us. Legacy of Kain is going to continue on Sundays. We're going to continue the series going through on Sundays every week. Until it's done, pretty much. Yay, it's Kira. We should be back tomorrow with Skies of Arcadia Legends. So I'll keep that RPG going. Get through that, that'd be really nice. The Vice the Legend playthrough. And with any luck, we'll be back on Tuesday with more Resident Evil Village. So I hope everybody looks forward to that. We're live at the minute. Hey. I don't know what there is. Right, so what I'll do is I'll give a couple shout outs. Our buddy Magic, currently playing through some Tomb Raider games. Magic is a cool dude. I actually found Magic specifically through Legacy of Kain. I think Magic was playing Soul Reaver 2 at the time, or Defiance. Magic is cool people though, always worth streaming, always worth watching them stream. He and his brother, cool people. And they do some crazy stuff. They like to do challenge runs and hard modes and stuff. So definitely give them a check out. And of course our good buddy Teak the Gamer, who plays whatever he wants. Should be back on Tuesday with any luck, continuing his turn-based Tuesdays where he's playing through Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy, alternating between them. His Whimsdays, where he plays whatever he wants. He's currently playing through Project Triangle Strategy, I think. His Backlog Thursdays, where I don't know what he's doing. And his Franchise Fridays, where he's currently playing through the Metroid series. Nobody else was here in the chat that streams. Yeah, cool people all around. But yeah, back tomorrow with Skies of Arcadia Legends, Tuesday with Resident Evil Village, next Sunday with Legacy of Kain, again, continuing that, and Saturday we're going to do more Superhero Saturdays. We missed yesterday for a couple of reasons. In particular, Titanium hasn't been around for a while, and I don't want to start Astro Boy without him, because that was very much something he wanted to see. So until Titanium comes back, Astro Boy is going to be put on the side, and we'll be starting something else for Superhero Saturdays. But yeah, pretty much it. So there's not really anything else to say. But thank you all for watching. Have yourselves a fantastic time of day, and take care. Catch you next time, guys. Bye.
I wanna take you for a ride.